I didn't even make it past the airport exit before they slapped cuffs on me. Special Agent Daniel Reed, you're under arrest for the murder of Colonel Harris, my father-in-law. My mentor. The man who believed in me when no one else would. I'd been off the grid for 9 months, deep black ops, no calls, no contact, no trace. When I landed, I expected silence, maybe exhaustion, maybe a quiet hug from my little girl. Instead, I was met with cold metal around my wrists. Then I saw her, my wife, standing just behind the police line. Her eyes were dry. Her lips curled into something that wasn't grief or pain, but satisfaction. At her side was her daughter, holding her hand tight like a soldier awaiting orders. That sight cut deeper than any knife I'd ever faced. I met Claire when I was 25. She was warmth and light in a life built on shadows. I thought she grounded me, made me human again. Her laughter reminded me there was still a world beyond the missions, beyond the blood. When Lily was born, I promised myself I'd build her a world she'd never need to heal from. Every mission, every scar, I told myself it was worth it if it meant she was safe. But when I came home, there were divorce papers waiting on the counter, neatly placed, already signed with my forged name. That was the first sign. The second came in court. The trial was pure theater. Claire sat tall, painted in grief she didn't feel. Lily took the stand, her voice flat and practiced. He was angry with Grandpa. He said he'd end him. The words weren't hers, they were fed to her. My little girl turned into a weapon against me. The prosecutor ran with it. Ladies and gentlemen, the motive is clear: resentment, betrayal, violence. This man, this soldier, executed Colonel Harris. I said nothing. Just watched. Because the truth wasn't on their side. It was in my hands, and I knew how to wait. Betrayal doesn't strike like lightning, it rots slow, eating from the inside. I'd seen the signs years earlier. The late-night phone calls that ended when I walked in. The way her phone always landed face down. The sudden secrecy around our finances. She thought I didn't notice. But my life depended on noticing what others missed. I started digging offshore accounts. Wire transfers under Harris's name. Bribes masked as consulting fees. Claire wasn't just cheating. She was part of something bigger. When Harris was killed, I knew instantly. She hadn't just betrayed me, she'd framed me. Not for freedom. Not for money. But to erase the one man who could expose her. I didn't explode. I gathered proof. Every document, every signature, every transaction. And one final piece, of classified directive from Harris himself, naming Claire as a contact who had compromised his security. I locked it away, waiting for the right moment. When sentencing day came, the judge leaned forward. Mr. Reed, before I pass judgment, do you have anything to say? I stood slowly, chains clinking against the table. The whole courtroom held its breath. No, I said quietly, but I have something to submit. I slid a single sheet of paper across the desk, my ace. Harris's sealed directive. The judge unfolded it. His eyes widened. The gavel froze mid-swing. No one moves, he ordered. Close the doors. The room exploded into chaos. Claire's lawyer dropped his papers, face pale as chalk. Claire herself went rigid, her perfect mask cracking for the first time. Then came the sound that ended it all, the thunder of military boots, pounding through the courtroom doors. Claire's voice broke first. This is a mistake, she cried. But the officers already knew. That one paper wasn't alone. I'd made sure of it. The moment the seal was opened, a full file went: public bank accounts, messages, and clear connections between Claire, Harris's enemies, and the mercenaries who killed him. The betrayal was no longer my burden. It was truth, laid bare for all to see. My daughter screamed, confused, reaching for her mother. But the MPs dragged Claire away, her wrists cuffed instead of mine. Justice is never clean. It's not like the movies. There's no tidy ending, no victory music. Lily still looked at me with fear. You can't undo years of poison in a day. But I had patience. When the judge dismissed the case, I didn't cheer. I simply unlatched the cuffs from my wrists and felt the weight shift from me to her. Claire screamed as they pulled her past me. You'll pay for this, Daniel. You'll lose everything. I leaned close enough for her to hear me. I already did, I whispered. Now it's your turn. When the courtroom finally emptied, I sat alone on the bench. Freedom felt heavy, more survival than relief. The war wasn't over. It had just changed shape. Lily would need time. She'd been turned against me, taught to see her father as a monster. You can't untangle love and lies overnight. But I'd wait. I always wait. I thought of Harris, his hand on my shoulder, his voice steady before my last mission. You fight better when you know who you're fighting for. Now I knew. I wasn't fighting for Claire anymore, not for her loyalty, her approval, or her love. I was fighting for Lily, for truth, for the life Claire tried to bury. As I walked out of that courtroom, the doors slammed behind me with a hollow echo. And for the first time since coming home, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not joy, not triumph, control. And when I have control, nothing can stop me.